All right, Christmas evening, Christmas night, I guess. But let's just take a quick look at what I've gotten done so far. Still looks like a mess. Very much a mess in here. But yeah, stuff has to go places and it hasn't made it there yet. I did manage to fit this den puller station in the corner right here, and there's adequate room to make our way into the house. So that's just like a little sanctuary, untouched. There's a piece of board that I gotta install down there, but I gotta trim it. What else did I do? As you can see, just kind of pan around here. As you can see, I've gotten my drill press in the corner right there. I'm glad I measured because there was just enough space, and I'm probably talking pretty low here, but yeah, the drill press is in the corner right there, and it is fine. It works out just fine. I can maneuver it into place if I just press down on those orange levers. Then I can get off the little stopper. You can see it right there. And then it will be propped up on the wheel, and then I can move it. So there's that. I'm probably not going to leave the Ego on the platform, but I mean, it's not the end of the world if it stays there. In fact, I think it's quite fine. Actually, I'll probably end up leaving it there because it's meant for if we have a power outage or something and the wife needs to use some power, she can just grab the Ego batteries and plug it into that. So you're not concerned about carbon dioxide or anything. And she thinks that anything electrical is gonna hurt her. So that looks more safe to her. So sorry we have it. Yep, all the stuff is still here. I did mention that I'm gonna have to service this. As you can see, it's leaking right here. It's leaking when you pump, it's leaking right there. So I put a rag there to catch anything. And then I have a couple, like some of these like C-clips that is missing. I think it's missing like two, one on the wheel and then one somewhere else. But I bought it packed from Harbor Freight. And then I was able to get this one tucked away back here. So that's tucked away conveniently. And then my compressor. For me to get it as close to the wall as possible over there, I had to raise up this door sensor, and typically they're like 6 inches from the ground. So now it's slightly higher, probably about 8 or something. But that's so I can just tuck the wheel up there and it wouldn't like be hidden on it. So not the end of the world. So yeah, this is gonna live here to like air up tires and whatever else. Got my pry bars over there. I'm not sure if I'll leave them over there or not. Like I said, I gotta eventually set up this timer. So right now I just have it in the off position and it's plugged in, and I gotta replace this cover plate because it's cracked. So yeah, progress. A lot of this stuff, a lot of this cleanup is going to be dependent on me finalizing that the cabinet. And you might be wondering why. Well, today was Christmas. Like I said, stuff takes time to get done. So I got to bolt all that stuff together. And then once I have it bolted together, I got to lift it to level front and back. Position the casters how I want them, just so I can maximize the space underneath. And like I said, I think I might just leave the temporary casters on for additional support. Because in this case, as you can see, the manual says to remove, like the main box and the side locker you're not supposed to have two of the main casters side by side. So this caster would need to come out here. And then, so yeah, this is for the main toolbox. Then this caster would have to go here, replace the temporary caster. And then this caster would have to come out here, replace this temporary caster. But it's not the end of the world if the casters are like that and I can bolt it together. But we'll see how I feel once I get to that bridge. What else is there? So yeah, can't really see it. I think the only thing I did this morning super early was, if you go up there, you might be able to see it has the top mat on top of this one now, so they're all like adequately protected. So there's that. I'm not sure if I'll necessarily leave all my jacks here. Actually, it would be a great barrier. If you watch my previous video about concern about the wife actually running into this stuff, the jack itself makes contact with a wall before the handle actually makes contact with the box. So, I mean, she would probably bend the handle, but it's not the end of the world. At least that's something less critical. And then it has a cushion on it also, so I might actually, this might be where the jacks live, beneath the toolbox, because there's not a whole lot of places I can put them. If you notice, I got like the main chargers. I don't like all the little small chargers. I got like a tote full of small chargers. So I just have the main one for all of the main platforms. So yeah, it's going to be excited to put stuff where it needs to go, get those boxes opened up and put inside there. I already have a plan for that. Take all this stuff back to the garage, get all the blow molded case out of that closet into there, and then I'll still have to paint. So that's what I'll do. Since I got to paint white anyway, this little area around the door and in that closet and then around the garage door trim, I'll just save the remaining painting for doing that stuff and just do it as one, because this area is going to be clear, so I'm not worried about having access right there. And same thing with the doorway. But yeah, that's a quick little update. I feel like I'm getting stuffed up. The weather out here is really crappy, so make sure everything is off and on. But yeah, it's going to be a minute, at least another week before I can get to doing anything. But just wanted to give a little update. As you can see, it's slightly less cluttered, but it does have a lot of stuff on the floor. But again, like all small pieces, that needs to go somewhere. And even the bigger pieces, I'm just waiting for the closet to free up some space to determine where they're going to go. But all in all, this should be pretty good. And then the final determination of how ergonomic this place is whether or not I can maneuver this thing into the center of the garage and maneuver it back in place. So if I can do that and I have adequate space, which I should, that will work just fine. But yeah, loving it. Yeah. Anyway, hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. And it's seemed like it came and went fast. I don't know, it did. I had to find a place for my little giant ladder over there. Let's see where it fits. Yeah. It's almost like I need an entire outdoor garage, just so I don't have to be like doing Tetris and stuff in here. Like I can just have everything like laid out. Like I have a lot more tools, like stuff that you don't see is my welding table. Those are in the shed. Like table saws, miter saws, and I'm thinking about big stuff. what you don't see is a lot of like construction type tool, home grade type tool, and that's because I want to reserve the space for automotive tools. So a lot of that stuff is in the shed. But if I did have the space, I would have all that stuff in one built-in one space, and I can have access to it at all times. Because you never know what's gonna work. You never know if you need to use a circular saw on a car. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff right now. But it would be nice to have a space eventually where I can include all that stuff in one space. Yeah, I mean, if I had more space, I would probably go with more lockers and stuff, and just store all my tools and stuff inside these, because that's what I like to have access to them, organized and stuff. And sure enough, if I had more space, I would certainly go with that. I have thought about getting rid of this Milwaukee and getting a 53-inch bottom, top, and upper locker, and just setting it right there. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it as is. That's just, I mean, I don't know. I could, but yeah. And plus, Harbor Freight just came out with that 20% that expires tomorrow. So maybe we'll see. Because that's, but to be honest, our bikes, we're probably gonna mount them to the wall right here. That's really the only clear space to mount them right now. So I need a place to put those, and so they can be accessible. And they're probably gonna go up on the wall right here. Just our bikes. But again, like I said, I'm not gonna put shelves on the wall in a traditional sense. But stuff will eventually have to get mounted to the wall because it only makes sense to be mounted on the wall. It's going to be limited in scope, not like my previous garage. But yeah, I'm not going to keep this video too long. I'm going to head to bed myself. Has anyone ever used these? And does it work for them? I've used it a couple times, but it was an awkward situation of using it because not having a lift or anything, or means to slide onto the car. Like if you had a 4-post lift with the shelf or the platform that you drive on, then sure enough, you could probably get your car onto here. But yeah, you can use it with a jack, I guess. Jack your car up, rest it on here, and roll it. And if you're not sure what this is, basically, if you're looking for suspension wear on your car, then you put your car wheel on top of that, and then you just move this, and then you're able to move the wheel back and forth, and in turn affect the suspension parts, and then you can spot any like wear and tear. So that's the design of this. Once you have the wheel like sitting on top of here, then you can use this handle and like rock it back and forth, and then you can hear any clunks and stuff that you'd probably otherwise miss. So yeah, a Mueller Caps innovative tool. This is a part number. Well, it doesn't have a part number on it, but yeah, it doesn't have any markings. It seemed like you could get a piece of pipe and do the same thing, but this is more fancy. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't have any part number or anything. I've used it once, but I don't feel like I was adequately prepared to use it because I didn't have a good setup. But yeah, that is that. So we're going to call this video complete, and move on to the next one. Anyway, like me always say, like on a hit it.